How's it, guys? Welcome back, the Pirates Pod, and we have an incredible guest with us, Innocent Maiella, Orlando Pirates legend. More than 10 years at the club.
Yeah, 10 years at the club.
For the captain armband. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, cool, man. We'll be diving into everything Pirates, everything about your career. We want to hear all the stories. It's going to be great to have you. But let's start off right at the beginning. Where did it all start, bro? Where did the football start?
Obviously, I was born and bred in Witbank, Mpumalanga, before I joined the academy of Orlando Pirates. So,
How old were you when you joined the academy at Pirates?
I think I was 15, 16. I wasn't that young. I was like 15, 16 when I joined the academy. Coach Thabo Sinong, let me tell you a story, in fact, about this. So, Coach Thabo Sinong went to Witbank, right, in Mpumalanga, to attend a parents' meeting of all the Pirates players that were in the academy. So, on his way back from where the meeting took place, he saw a match playing, and he was like, let me go watch. And then he saw me playing there, and I was a striker at that time. So he was impressed, and he was like, no, I want you to come for trials. I'm from Pirates. He had tracksuits. But at the time, I was like, they always promise you things, but nothing happens. But he called me and was like, yeah, no, the trials are happening tomorrow. We'll be able to make it. I was like, yeah, definitely. Told my parents, went to Mayfair, met Coach Palacios, and everything started there for me. But I joined the academy as a striker. I used to score those bangers with my left foot.
You're a striker?
I was a striker when they joined the academy.
Yeah.
And then, when you're there, they develop you, they coach you, they see your strengths and your weaknesses. And more often than not, there's a player that is injured, and then you need someone to fill in. And then I went to a left wing, left back got injured after I played as a left back. And then from then on, they started training me as a left back because they saw the potential.
And at what age was that? At what age were you when you discovered that left back was the position?
Same season, so it was like 15, 16.
Did it have anything to do with the fact that your brother is one of the best left backs ever?
No. At that time in the academy, no one knew. Because my last name is Maela, his last name is Maiella, so no one knew. It's only when I started playing, at the higher level, people were like, oh, really? I was like, yeah. No one never really knew. And that is why growing up, it never used to affect me. Seeing Tebo playing in Spain, Israel, it never used to affect me because it was only us as a family who knew this. No one else really
But that also says something about your character. For most people, like, you would be using it as like open a door for me, like my brother's Tebo Masilela,
I get all the soccer blues and stuff, but for me it wasn't. Because Tebo, he was away from us for a long time also. So we used to talk there and there, but we were never really that close, during at the peak of his career. Because if you know Tebo, he's so focused. He was so focused also in his career. So we were never really that close because he was focused on what he had to do at that moment. So it was only after people started knowing. So I was around 15, 16 when I was, transferred to left back. They started training me, developing me, and they saw a future.
Okay, then talk to me about going from the academy to the first team. Like, when did that happen? How did it happen?
So it didn't just happen smoothly, right? For me, fortunately, I would say for me, because there was a time where I was in the reserve team, yes. And then the time came where we had to move on. So I had a meeting with the management and I told them, okay, now it's time for me to move on. I'm not young anymore. What's the next step? And they were like, okay, we're going to loan you. You understand? Go to the NFT, go play there, and then we will see how everything develops. That loan spell lasted for 5 years.
Long loan spell.
That loan spell lasted for 5 years. I played for 2 different teams. I played for Witbank Spurs for 2 seasons. It was tough, I'm not gonna lie. And then I joined the Thand Royal Zulu in KZN for 3 seasons. And I have interesting stories to tell you about the Thand Royal Zulu, but I was there for 3 seasons, and then that is when I came back to Orlando Pirates. But the season before I joined Orlando Pirates, we actually won the league with Thand Royal Zulu, and I was captain. So when people say, no, but our captain has never won the league, they are wrong. I won the league, but I won it in the lower division. But I know what it takes to win the league because we went all the way. And prior to the season before that, we were fighting relegation at Thand Royal Zulu. Just to give you a timeline on what was happening in my career. We were fighting relegation. We survived on the last day. 9 players that were playing in that game against African Warriors in Richards Bay played 85% of the games where we won the league. Just imagine. 9 of those players, they started regularly when we won the league. We only added like Zita, Quinika, who's playing for Chiefs now, and a few other players. And we won the league. That is when I knew that God is big.
Yeah.
God is big. Because if 9 of us were so bad last season, now we are going to be...
Crazy, man.
It was crazy. And then we won the league, we celebrated. It was nice. 14 days later, the story came out. Amazulu bought our status.
I know.
I think you were there.
That was exactly when I joined Amazulu.
Yeah, Amazulu bought our status, and now we are left in the wilderness again. We don't know what's going to happen. Luckily for me, you know, I was at that time, I was in Rustenburg with the Bafana team, playing Kosafa. We were playing a Kosafa tournament, and the chairman called me and was like, okay, I think you're ready to come back now. Yeah, because I just won the league. A lot of teams were interested in me. And then it was like, yeah, I think you're ready to come back and compete for your place in the first team. Congratulations on winning the league. You did well. We've been, you know, watching you all these years. And then he told me which day I should come back, and that is when I joined the team. So from the time I left the academy, it took me 5 years of hard work, sacrifice, dedication for me to go back. Because, like I tell people all the time, I could have easily quit playing the game. Easy. When I left the academy, I was studying at UJ. I was done with my matric. So I was studying at UJ, and I had to make a decision. Do you continue with your studies, or do you pursue this thing? And I was like, you know what? I can always come back to school and stuff. Let me try. 2 years Witbank Spurs, 3 years in Richards Bay. When we were fighting relegation, I really thought, nah, this is it. It's not going to happen for me. It's not going to happen for me. The first team is doing so well. Thabo Matlabo is the best thing in the country at the moment. Like, you know, there's Patrick, there's Mark, quality left backs. This thing is not going to happen. We won the league. You guys bought our status. So I was like, guys, it's not going to happen. But like I'm saying, God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. And then you obviously get into the Pirates first team.
Yeah, then I meet Coach Micho, and then Coach Rulani joins us like a few weeks later. And then we go for pre-season. I think we were in Rustenburg again, where, you know, we were playing Kosafa there. I came back in Johannesburg, and then we had to travel again to Rustenburg, and we do our pre-season. Obviously, everything for me at that time was like, okay, I'm here to learn. I'm here to, you know, learn from the senior players. I'm not gonna rush anything. I'm grateful for the opportunity. First game comes, Orlando Stadium against Cheaper. Guess who starts as a left back?
Yes, man.
Me. I get an assist for Kabuza. He scores. Yeah, I think we win 1-0. I get man of the match. Just imagine.
First game with Pirates.
First game, Orlando Pirates, Orlando Stadium. We were playing against Cheaper. I'll never forget. I get man of the match. And from that day onwards, that is when I knew my life has changed. My life has changed for the better. It was tough, the journey, but I mean, like I told you, I was fortunate enough that I had to go through that journey, you know, because it builds character and resilience within me.
Yeah. You spoke about Coach Michu. Talk to us about your entire career in terms of who was the best, who had the biggest impression on you at Orlando Pirates.
Yeah,
Obviously, you worked with a lot of coaches. When
Overall, right?
Yeah.
I would name 2 coaches. It will be Coach Rulani Mukwena, and then it will be Coach Jose Rivero. And I name both of them because Coach Rulani told me how to play the game. The detail, you know, what it takes to actually go in there and perform, the preparation that you need. And I mentioned Coach Rivero because he made a lot of us legends. We won titles under Coach Rivero. You know, when he walked in, he told us, from this day onwards, you guys are winners. So I mentioned the both of them because they contributed differently. Coach Rulani was more of the tactics on understanding the game, you know, the perspective, how to think as a footballer. Coach Rivero made us legends. So he'll always remain number one in my life because, I mean, lifting trophies under a certain coach and lifting 5 trophies in 3 years, you know, with him as my head coach, the best.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, so a funny story, we actually started at the same time at Pirates. Like, the season I came to the Pirates team, the admin team, we also started. And it was so funny because, like, you know, it was very shy at the beginning. I remember you were always with Dube, the right back. We were always together. It was like Bonnie and Clyde, like, we were doing everything together. And it was quite nice to see that. And they actually, like, both played very, very quickly. So it's like the 2 best friends, you know, like, that play left back and right back at Pirates. And you both did extremely well in the first season.
Yeah, I remember after the first season we had awards. I think it was the last time Orlando Pirates had official awards. And, you know, the chairman mentioned us on stage. And he was like, I usually don't do this. I'm not a fan of doing this, but, you know, said Maela, I'm so keep going. I'm so proud of you. Because, I mean, you come from the academy and you're now in the first team. And that season, I think we played like 95% of the matches. It was incredible. I mean, to get a mention and a shout out from the chairman himself. So, yeah, we I mean, it was nice. It was okay. I mean, we were living our dreams. You can just imagine me and Dube. I actually have a picture of us uh, when we were in the academy. We were so young, so small, wearing the development clothing. And so for us to be actually make a breakthrough in the first team and play together, it was like living a dream. It's like growing up with your friend and then finding yourself living your dreams together.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah. Obviously you played a lot of games for Pirates.
Yeah.
Is there one that stands out as like your most memorable, your favorite game for Orlando Pirates? Doesn't have to be the one that you won, but like your favorite game.
I think it will be the Soweto Derby where I scored a header. I mean, Soweto Derbies are always nice. I don't know how many I've played. I think about 20 something, if I'm not mistaken. I never really counted. But if I had to choose one, it will be this.
20 something Soweto derbies.
Yeah, 20 something. If I'm not mistaken, I still have to check. There was a game where we played against them, and they scored first. I equalized through a header.
Yeah.
We eventually won that game 3-1. I think Pule and Lodge scored also. That game will always remain in my heart as the number one. Obviously, there were matches where we won, and as a captain, I got to lift trophies. But that game in particular, scoring, so it's what is nice.
Yeah, magic.
Not everyone does it. Special,
So
amazing.
what goes in your head when you score against Chiefs and there's 90,000 people? Like,
You
is
don't
that
know
like
what- you-
just black or how?
Blank. You don't know what to do. I remember when I scored, I ran to the bench to celebrate with the technical team and the reserve players because I'm not used to scoring, right? So I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So when I saw the ball going in, I was like, let me just run anyway. And then when I saw the technical team, I just ran to the coaches, I hugged them. Everyone was just, happy. But it was a game. It's a match that I'll never ever forget. So it was a special,
Yeah, no, magical time. And I never experienced 20, but I mean, yeah, it was incredible. Obviously, over your time at Pirates, we had this massive rivalry with Sundowns. Obviously, they've had the upper hand for the vast majority of it. If I had to say to you, can either win a Soweto derby or beat Sundowns in the league, what became more important to you over your career?
Beating Mamelodi Sundowns. Why? Because it'll get us closer to winning the league. For me, I've always wanted to win the league for the first team. Obviously, I wanted to win all the other trophies, but I had ambitions of winning the league, and beating Mamelodi Sundowns would, make us go a step closer to them. So if I had to rank, obviously the Soweto Derby has its own respect, but if I had to rank beating Mamelodi Sundowns and making sure that we get closer to winning the league, definitely be number one. There was a time where I think they won the league, but we were trailing only by 2 points.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that season.
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah.
When we drew at
Against
Cape Town City,
City.
and we were like leading.
Craig Martin scored the equalizer. We were leading 2-1.
Yeah.
Craig Martin scored a header. So when he joined us, I was like, but Craig, look, now you're fighting the league with us. At least if you let us, because if we won that game, and then we were playing, I think we were playing Black Leopards at Orlando Stadium the last match. It was, it was done, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But to answer your question, beating Mamelodi Sundowns, it gets you closer to the league. You understand? It gets you closer to the league because they don't drop a lot of points against all these other teams. So you have to beat them in order for you to get closer to the league. So if I had to choose, it'll be definitely those 3 points.
Yeah. You had a lot of high points at the club. What were some of the low points that you had?
Some of the low points, I think when I first got injured, it was really bad. We were playing against Mamelodi Sundowns at Orlando Stadium. I think it was 2018-19. That is where I strained my groin, my adductor. And that is where my issue with the groin started. I think from there on, I've always had an issue with my groin. Operation after operation after operation. I don't know if you know, but I have 3 operations just around my groin, my adductor area. And it all started with that cycle from Tapelo Morena, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously getting injured, it was bad. Not playing as much as you would like, it's also not great. However, you do have to support your teammates. But I mean, as an individual, you always have ambitions to contributing and playing. But if I had to, mention one, all the injuries and the setbacks that I had to go through. But in terms of matches, the game that we played against Baroka, the Telecom Cup final, we thought we were going to win and break the drought.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say something about that, Joe, that day.
For me, like having discussed it before, for me it was the best game I've ever been. It was in PE.
Yeah.
And we get a red card when FC. We talked about it in our
Yeah.
podcast before, and like then we got Bolchane that makes mistakes, penalties, all these things, and we came back twice. The atmosphere was incredible in the stadium. Like the players, the way you guys were fighting was incredible. It was so nice. Like just the win that was missing, but everything was absolutely amazing. And it's so funny because you speak to lots of players, and for them, one of the best games of their career, it was the game where we actually lost. Like explain to us, like because you were there, you were playing, but like how you experienced it as a player when you could feel that. I really thought we were indestructible that day.
Yeah.
Anything could happen and we'd do it.
Yeah. Well, I think the way we started the match was good, right? We wanted to win and we showed intention that we wanted to win. But the more the first half went and we couldn't get that goal, that is when I started feeling, okay, I think here we need to be patient because we only need one goal. And then the incident happens near the center line with Munet's red card. 2 minutes after that, they score a goal. Ish. What are we going to do? This is a huge problem now because everyone expected us to win that game. We were going through a drought. We were playing against Baroka with all due respect. It's a cup final. The stadium is sold out. Everyone is expecting us to win.
Yeah.
Now we are 1-0 down, one man down. We go into the dressing room and the coaches at the time, they ask us, you players, you must decide what you want to do. Do we take out an attacking player and put in a defender, or do we continue like this and you sacrifice a certain space in the field of play?
Hold on, so you're telling me at halftime he came to you and he said to the team, like, what do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
That was Rolani, yeah?
It was Coach Rolani and Coach Mitchell, both of them. So they were like, okay, you guys decide. What do you want to do? Do we take out one attacking player and put in a defender? And the guys were like, no, we're attacking. We're attacking. Even if we leave two players at the back, it's okay, we're attacking. And then the coaches were like, okay, listen, this is how you're going to play this game. They are right back at the time. Every time when he gets that ball, no one presses him. Everyone, you occupy certain spaces in the field, but every time when he gets the ball, no one presses him. So he becomes a 10 versus 10. You understand? Because when you check the stats of that particular player at that moment, he didn't have a lot of assists. He didn't have a lot of final third entries. So he had the ball, but he was still far away
So
from
they
us.
pulled the stats at halftime.
Halftime, and they showed us, like, okay, you guys are saying you want to continue like this. This is how you're going to set up. Maya centre back, Happy centre back, and our right back. So you're going to play with three. You understand? And then Vincent was on the left, but he wasn't a left back. He played higher up. Even if the right back received the ball in front of Vincent, behind Vincent, attacking, Vincent must not drop. No one presses that guy. You understand? Because of all the information, all the information that we got, and it worked. We came back second half. You know, we played well. We were so strong. Tactically, we were good. We went to penalties, and most penalties. And after the game, we all cried. It was bad. Lodge, I remember Lodge. Like, he didn't even say a word, bro. We traveled back. He was so upset. All of us were upset. We didn't understand what was happening. And I remember from that match onwards, we took a dip. And it took a lot from us to come back again and believe in ourselves. So, but yeah, that match, it was hectic. I'll never forget it. Even after the game, they gave us our jerseys. But they're like, no, you can keep your jerseys. Go frame them. So every time when you look at it, you remember.
Oh.
You remember that, but it was a lot. But like Joey is saying, from the outside, I think it was the most beautiful game ever. The most beautiful. Tactically, we were so strong. The way the team was playing, you wouldn't even say we were one man down. The way we were playing, we were so good. We had Mpumalanga, Pule, we had Shone, we had Moose, we had Hape. We were too good.
Yeah, so now, there were all the difficult times.
Yeah.
But in Pirates, it's like, things have turned. And obviously it started with Rivero and everything. The trophies started to come.
Yeah.
What changed at the club? The years of success, the trophies? For the last 3 years, we've lifted a lot of trophies. What was it about the club? What changed?
I think the belief that the coach instilled. Because you need to understand, the coach is very important. He plays a very important part when the team wins. I think the belief that he imparted within the team, him and his technical team, they played a key role. And also, his first season, we went to pre-season, you understand, in Rustenburg. And I think for me personally, the way we conducted ourselves in that pre-season, it sets the tone. It sets the tone in Rivero's time at the club, because he instilled the belief in us that it was impossible for us to think of ourselves as losers. We always believe that we're going to win. We're going to win. No matter how difficult it is, we're going to win. Yes, we're going to improve, we're going to get better, but this game we're going to win. And we carried that with us, Because you would see every time we played a final, we knew, everyone knows, Rivero doesn't lose a final. That is the belief that he instilled in us. We knew we're going to win. Regardless of what happens, red card, we're going to win this game. And for me, that is the culture that he imparted.
The mentality shift.
The mentality shift at that time, and everything just went up.
Yeah, and look, the supporters have also come on board now. We've spoken about it as well. Like, I was at the game yesterday, and I was watching the way the fans embraced the players. I mean, even after a draw, not necessarily the best result. It's like even after we got knocked out of the CAF Champions League, like the fans, like, now they're sitting there for 30 minutes after the game, waiting to sing with the players. It was difficult before at Pirates when you used to lose, eh? Like, It was really, really tough. Or when, like, the fans didn't get what they want. Like, there's this massive culture where it almost feels like, firstly, the club has done so well with digitally connecting with the fans, like bringing the fans closer to the players with the way, like, all the shows, all the YouTube channels, everything. So the fans feel part of it. But you see that at the stadiums now. We're selling out stadiums, but they embrace the players, and it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible what is happening now. The love, the support, around the club from the fans. And you're right. The digital team is doing an excellent job because they're educating the fans. They're educating the supporters. Now they get to know the emotional side of the players. They're not only footballers, but they get to see the struggles and the hardships. So they don't charge like they used to before. When I joined the team, we were fighting a drought. We wanted to end a drought. It was rigid. It was tense. But now you can see the love. All the new players, they come in, they perform because of the love and the culture the club has inside and outside. And we thank our supporters always for the support and the love that they give us. But you actually raised a very important point. All the documentaries, all the shows, the fans, they feel closer and closer. They feel like they are part of the team and they understand what these boys are going through day in and day out. And
humanize them as well. Like, they realize, like, you're not just a footballer anymore. Like, you're a human being.
Well,
you've got a family. You've got life.
Yeah. Well, it's changing. It's not there yet, but it's changing. You understand? Because with all these things happening, you still have other factors that are contributing to the hostility of the supporters, which I won't mention. But it's changing slowly. But I do believe the fans now, they do understand. Okay, he had a bad game, but let's not kill him. Let's support him. Let's give him time. Back then, it never used to be like this.
Yeah.
I was there. It never used to be like this. One bad game, you were done. From your first 10 minutes making your debut, it's either they love you or they don't. And they don't change their minds.
So true.
Now they give you time. Things are much better, easier. And that is how it should be. As a player, you should feel like, okay, these people are supporting me. At Orlando Stadium, it's almost full every game we play now. Before, the supporters were there, but one mistake, it was tense. But now you can feel the support, and I mean, it's different, it's special now. It's, like I'm saying, the guys are so blessed, to be part of this team at this generation, at this moment.
Joe, you wanted to speak about his national team career as well.
Yeah, because yes, he was the Pirates captain, but he had a few national team caps with Bafana. And so I remember you played against Morocco and you beat Morocco after they did semi-finals of the World Cup. But I think your biggest game was when you actually qualified with Bafana for the AFCON, right? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we played against Libya in Tunis because there was a civil conflict in Libya at that time. So we had to travel to Tunis and play against Libya. So that match, if we draw or win, it will take us to Egypt, AFCON. And my roommate at the time was pissed out. And we're like, yo, bro, can you believe it? All the way from Witbank, now we only one game away from, representing the country at the big tournament. There's nothing bigger than that, by the way. There's nothing, as a boy from African continent, there's nothing bigger than playing AFCON. There's no stage bigger than that. So we were like, oh, okay, but it's tough. And then the coach came, it was Coach Stuart Parks at the time. It was like, okay, this is how we're going to set up. It's going to be different. And remember, that time I wasn't playing a lot because Sfiso was the left back. Sfiso Santi was playing regularly. So I was a backup to him. And then he was like, okay, this game we're going to play 3 at the back. And, you're playing as a wing back. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, okay.
The pressure.
The pressure. And we had to make sure we don't lose that game. You understand? So you can understand the approach. So we went there, first half, I think it was 0-0. First half, Paces, second half, Paces scores 1-0. They put the pressure, they come. He scores again, Pace. He was on fire that game. He scores again 2-0, and we qualify for AFCON. So for me, when I look back now, obviously playing against Morocco at home, we're beating them at Soccer City recently. It's not that long ago. It was nice. It was amazing because these guys were, you're playing against all the players from Europe. But that match in particular, the one that we qualified for the 2019 AFCON in Egypt, it will always remain in my heart because of the magnitude of the game and the importance. And at that time, the national team didn't have a lot of positivity around it. So you always knew, we're doing this for us. Maybe they will catch up later, but we're doing this for us. Let us make sure that we make ourselves proud and go and actually go represent this team and make sure that we go represent the nation in AFCON. And when we got there, it was a success because we knocked out Egypt. Massive.
Yeah.
You remember the goal from
in
Lodge?
Egypt.
They
In
started
Egypt,
calling
yeah,
him
it's
Moses.
Extra time.
Extra.
It's crazy.
People don't speak about that game enough.
They don't speak about that game enough. The way we planned tactically, it was spot on. I think it was the first
Yeah.
game Lodge even started that game
Yeah,
in
when I
the
speak
tournament.
to Dean Furman on podcast, that's the first thing he speaks about. It's like, that's the best game of his career. Like,
Really? Yeah, no, but the way we played that game, it was
Uh-huh.
top. And then we played Nigeria. They knocked us out. But I mean, it was a success, and we were so proud of ourselves. We were so proud of ourselves because from the day we started, we knew, like not a lot of people supported us in the country. So we had to do it for ourselves, and it was a success. Now I sit here and I'm proud after retiring that I was part of AFCON. Yeah, you can say whatever you want, but I was there. I know what AFCON means, and it's something that you'll never take away from me.
You touched on retirement.
Mm.
Why? I still believe you can still play. Like in your last season, you still were fresh. You look great. Like why?
I still look fresh. What do I
You look
say?
fresh, man.
No, listen, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I took some time to check within myself, and I was searching for that spark. You need that spark to keep on going. Each and every day you wake up, you go to training, it's the same routine. So when I was trying to find that spark within myself, I couldn't find it. And I asked myself why. And I checked for the past 15 years, I've been living off like the same schedule. Ever since I joined the academy, it's been the same thing. You wake up at this time, you go to training at this time, you eat at this time.
Yeah.
So I believe I reached the point where I didn't wanna go through that anymore. You understand? Because when I was searching for this spark, I was like, hey, but I can't find it anymore. So why should I continue doing this thing?
It's not a physical fatigue. I explained to you. It's like a mental fatigue.
It's a mental and emotional fatigue.
Yeah.
So I was like, I believe it is time. I had a conversation with my family. I had a conversation with my wife. They supported me. They were like, okay, if it's gonna make you happy, I was like, yeah, no. I think it is time now. I understand.
How did the club take it when you said you were done?
No, I had a conversation with the club because they asked me, what are your plans after football? We want to help you. They were really supportive. But I also told them that I had ambitions that maybe one day I can retire and playing for Pirates. For me personally, that would be nice, taking into consideration how my journey started with them. And they were like, yeah, no, we understand. But I had to go home. The decision was made at home with my family, myself, and I was like, okay, let me not announce now, the time will come. Recently we had a retirement party, and then I actually announced. But I took my time and I was like, no, it's actually a perfect time for you to retire. You've done all you can, you've done your best. You played in the Champions League, you were part of the AFCON, I've won trophies as a captain, I've lifted trophies. I also have a record of lifting 5 trophies in 3 years. That is something that I can be proud of. I've played over 200 matches for the club coming from the academy. So when I started thinking of all these things, I was like,
You ticked all the boxes.
You've actually made it. You understand? You've done this thing. Reason number 1. Reason number 2, my family said to me, if you retire now as young as you are, you're giving yourself an opportunity to learn and actually develop a career beyond your football days. Because what people don't understand, you retire at 32, 33, right? You give yourself the next 3 years for your transition. You're 35, 36. Now you're ready for your next career. You understand? Whether you want to go to school, whether you want to learn something, you understand. But you're giving yourself an opportunity, a window of opportunity to learn, so that when you do transition to the next career, you're more than capable. You understand? Because if you retire at 33 and you give yourself the next 3 years, after 3 years you're 36, you can have a diploma, you can have a degree, but now you're ready. You've given yourself that time rather than retiring. Well, I have nothing against people who retired 40, 39, it's their decision. But for me personally, I wouldn't have loved that because I still want to become something after my career, whether it's broadcasting. I'd really love, to go into the space. I believe I can learn and grow. I'm still trying in that space.
Super Sport, you heard it here. Get this man into broadcasting.
A club ambassador.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, I'm giving myself this time, owning my schedule, which is very important to me now.
Yeah,
Because I've lived off it for the past 15 years. Now I wake up whenever I decide
What's it like to have a weekend?
It's amazing. My weekend is every day now. My weekend, I decide what I want to do. I own my own schedule. Every time when I see a pro football, I'm like, oh, hey, no, you have to go to sleep. You have to go to sleep. You have to go to camp. No. I decide. If I want to go, I go. If I don't want to go, I don't want to go. But I've been working also with a few brands there and there. It's been nice. I've been a club ambassador for Orlando Pirates in a few activations, and it's a role that I've been taking.
Epic, mate. You've had a phenomenal career. We're
No,
going to
thank
get
you,
it a
thank
little
you.
bit lighter now. Just some quick fire stuff. You can expand on stuff if you want to. The best player you ever played with?
Tim, because it lodge easy.
You don't have to think twice.
No, only because when I joined the club, I think he was also on loan a bit, and then he came back. So when I joined the club, we were fairly young in the team, and I saw his development, and I saw him winning the Football of the Year, and I saw what it took, for him to reach that space. So, I mean, Lodge is, you can see the things that he's doing now there in Witbank. He's a top talent, and it was a privilege for me to play alongside him. I have a few also, but I mean, if I had to choose one, it would be Lodge.
Yeah.
Easy. You don't win
Should
Football
he
of the Year
be,
for...
should he be in the Bafana team going to AFCON?
Yeah, I mean, look, I worked with Coach Hugo Bruce.
Yeah.
I know how he does things. I know how he prefers dealing with these things. If it was me personally, I would want the best players in our country, obviously representing us. But it's not up to me.
Yeah, I'll never second guess Hugo Bruce. I'll never second guess what he's doing.
But I mean, obviously, I would like to have our best players representing us. Yeah, hopefully he goes. We don't know. Does he deserve it? Maybe that's the question. Does he deserve it? Absolutely yes. Will the coach pick him? We don't know. Regardless of what happens, we still continue supporting the team.
Oh, 100%. The best player you've ever played against?
I'll say the best player I've ever played against. Well, the player that has given me a lot of problems, it will be Tuso Pala. I think it was my first season. It was really tough against Supersport. But he was strong, he was quick. And that time, I was slim, I was a bit short. He used to get the ball and just play it past me all the time, uses his body. So it was Tuso Pala. Every time I see him, I tell him his story. And he'll be like, no, I don't remember. And I'm like, I remember. So yeah, Tuso.
Yeah. In training? In terms of like the Pirates? If there was someone like, if it's like a five-a-side game, you don't want to be up against someone.
Vincent is a beast at training. Vincent Pule.
Yeah.
Oh, you can ask anyone, they'll tell you. No, he's too good. How he trains, he's a beast. His touch, his quality. I mean, that is why a lot of coaches love him. I mean, each and every day, no bad day with Vincent. No bad day.
The best player in South Africa right now?
Right now, at the moment, I would say Appollis. I think Appollis I think his output is better than anyone else's. I would definitely choose Appollis. Who else? I think Sipo Shane also, he's doing really, really well. I look at other teams that are doing well, like Kaizer Chiefs. No. No, I'm joking. That is Spencer. No, I'm joking. That is Spencer. So to answer your question, Appollis. No, I'm joking, man.
Your funniest teammate?
Linda Mtambo. Figo.
Really?
Yeah, no, Figo he used to be crazy. I mean, even now, when you follow him, you'll understand.
Yeah.
And there was a time where I used to share a room with him. You'll understand. You'll laugh all the time. He's a top personality. Different but good.
Yeah, you don't have any funny Kabuza stories for us?
Well, when I joined Pirates Kabuza, I wasn't really that close. He was my teammate, but I wasn't really that close to him, because we were the new generation. And most of the time he used to chill with the senior players. So obviously, he was funny there and there, but I wasn't really that close to him.
Yeah. Your worst injury, you spoke about the groin. Is that
Yeah,
the worst one?
no, the worst one. I have 3 operations in around that area, the adductor area. So,
The
Gilmore
most- yeah.
groin and stuff.
Yeah. The most underrated player that you played with.
I think it was Mulenga, Augustine Mulenga.
Yeah.
Mulenga was top. Mulenga was top, and I think he was so underrated because when you look at that team at that time, you had Maela, you had Shone, you had Lodge, you had Vincent, and then you had Mulenga. But when you look at the output Mulenga had every time he had an opportunity, it was at the highest order, and I think he wasn't really appreciated that much. So definitely him.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to talk about your firsts. So, first sending off, you only got one. So
Yeah.
tell us about the first sending off. Do you remember
I remember it was against Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah. But it came late in your career.
Yeah, I came late. I was never really a player that used to tackle a lot. Doing all those funny things. No. Even when I used to get a yellow card early on in the game, I'd always be, disciplined on how I approach the game further on. So it was the game against Kaizer Chiefs.
Yes.
I made a tackle. I don't remember the player he was, but it was, I was the last defender. I made that last stitch tackle, and I didn't get the ball, and they gave me red. Unfortunately, we didn't win that game, which made it even more horrible experience for me. But at that moment, if you ask me now, would I do it again? Definitely yes. There's no way I can let an asking player just go in front of me and go score when I'm there. So I think I acted out of instinct, but I don't regret it. No.
Yeah.
No.
Do you want to tell us about what your brother said to you after you got that red card?
Yeah, well, Tepo called me and was like, no, but listen, in situations like this, you need to check. You understand? If it's possible for you to let the player go and score, and then you give your team an opportunity to be there, 11 against 11, maybe you can get an equalizer. But I remember that game, it was second half, and it was like 20 minutes left, so it wasn't much left. So
Instincts.
I mean, if it happened in the first 10 minutes, I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
You understand? Because we would rather be 1-0 down, but it's still 11 against 11. But no, the game was heating up last 20 minutes. I was like, nope, I'm taking him down.
Yeah. Your first goal for Pirates. Can you tell us about it? Do you remember it?
Nah, I don't remember my first goal for Pirates.
You don't remember? How many goals did you score for Pirates?
I'm not even sure, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot. I don't think it's more than 10. It's not a lot. I never used to be.
Yeah.
But my first goal, I think it was against. Nah, I'll be lying. I don't remember. I think it was against Bloemfontein Celtics.
Okay.
Sipo Shane was the goalkeeper, in fact, when I scored a header.
Yeah?
I think that was my first goal, but I stand to be corrected. Honestly, I don't remember. I don't
Okay.
remember.
Your first trophy for Pirates, do you remember?
Yeah, obviously. 2020, during the lockdown, yeah, under Coach Zimbabwe, Coach Fatlu, we won against the same Bloemfontein Celtics and Bombela Stadium. It was MTN 8. It was my first trophy with Orlando Pirates.
Empty stadium though.
Empty stadium. We were the only ones shouting. We were the only ones celebrating.
Yeah, it was me as well.
Yeah, no, but it was amazing because we ended the drought.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't talk about that also.
Yeah.
We were part of that generation that ended the drought because it was tough. People see now everything that is going on within the club, but we started back then, when we were there, part of the team. During this journey and everything changed, we started winning trophy, but some of us were privileged enough to actually experience that. And to end the drought, it was something that I'll never ever forget.
Yeah.
It was empty, yes, but we ended the drought and we won. We lifted a trophy.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time in your career you got a proper tongue lashing from a coach?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Rivero.
What happened?
I worked with Coach Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe was, he was loud, but I never really had a tongue lashing. Coach Micho and Rulane, not really. With Coach Rivero, yeah, half time. But all of us.
Yeah, it was for the whole team?
Yeah, with the whole team. I think we were playing against Maritzburg away, and we started the game really, really well. But before the half-time break, it was 50-50. And then when you got in, we got it. Yeah, all of us. Yeah, we're not running hard enough. The commitment is not there. You need to run. Yeah, Maiella, you only ran the first 10 minutes. I don't know, are you tired? No, coach, I'm not tired. Okay, no, you must push. You must push. But I could feel that, okay, we're really not doing enough in this game.
That's the side of him you never saw from the outside. He always presented as that cool, calm.
No, we saw it all the time inside.
Oh, really?
No, you think you're going to win so many trophies, it's always cool, calm. No, sometimes he will actually show, real emotion.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be loud or aggressive, but you'd actually see that, now it's tough. Yeah, we actually didn't do well the previous game, and you can actually see the coach is really, really, really upset now. Yeah, no, we saw it all the time, all the time, and he was really smart. Yeah, sometimes he would win, play well, And then the next day, team meeting, he'll change. Like, no. No, oh, now you think they're big stars. And you show a video. Only the bad things.
Keep you on
Only the
ground.
bad things, yeah, but it was top. How he managed the group was top.
Yeah.
But I think he's the only one that I actually feel like, hey, coach, yeah.
The first time you heard that you were going to be getting the armband, you were going to become the club captain of Orlando Pirates, do you remember?
Yeah, I remember we were in camp. Again, it was preseason. Again, it was Rustenburg. It feels like everything good happens in Rustenburg. So we had a meeting and the players voted for the captaincy. And they voted for me. And, you know, the coach announced. And it was special. I had to give a speech. They didn't know I'm so good at
So
speeches.
is that how it works? It's from the players' vote. It's not from the club.
Not all the time. Not all
Yeah.
the time. Sometimes the players vote and also the club has a say.
Okay.
But if it aligns,
Yeah.
maybe there are three candidates, and if the players vote for this
Yeah.
one, and maybe you make top two from this side,
Yeah.
then it aligns.
Did
And
you
I think,
expect it? You know,
well, honestly, yes, I expected myself to be in and around that space. Why? Because we had a lot of new players coming in, and the previous season we had a player coming in and they made him a club captain same time, and things didn't really work out in that space. So I was like, they're not going to make the same mistake. You understand? And we have a lot of new players coming in, so I knew I was going to be in and around. Probably me or Ofori was going to be the club captain. Fortunately, I was selected. The players voted. The management agreed. I don't know what they discussed behind, but I was so blessed and privileged that it happened to be me.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you met the Iron Duke and your first impressions?
Yeah, I do remember the first time. I was a boy. It was during the time where they kept sending me out on loan so that I can develop and become a better player. There was a time where they called us into the office, me, myself, my dad, mom, my parents. When we walked in, the chairman himself was there, and then he was like, "Look at how cute he is. He's not gonna survive here in choice." He was like, no, look at him. Look, no, he's too cute. He must go back there in the NFT, in the wilderness, so he can be strong. Like, look at him. Yeah, look at his smile. And then, he sent me back on loan. That was the first time. But when you're there, you're not going to talk, obviously.
No, he's the most intimidating.
Yeah.
I still say it to this day, he's the most intimidating man out there.
Yeah, no, but honestly, with me,
Yeah.
the only thing I felt with him was just laugh.
Yeah.
Warmth
Yeah.
and laugh. But obviously, the only time we talk is when he asks you a question.
Yeah.
And then you answer. He was like, "Do you know who that is?" And I was like, "Should I know?" I said, "No, Chairman, I don't know." "You don't know." I was like, I know it's okay. You will learn. Go back on loan, and then when your time is ready, you'll come back. And that is why for me, I would always hold him up there, because it's like he saw my journey
Yeah.
even before it happened. He was like, "No, you're not ready, go." And when I was ready, he called and he said, "Now you're ready." And he showed that I'm ready.
Yeah.
I was like, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, to finish here, we're going to build our perfect Orlando Pirates player with teammates that you had during the course of your career. I was just going to say one word, you give me the name.
Oh, there's like 400 options.
Yeah, you have a lot of options here. So we start with technique.
Technique, I'd say Musonyatamo.
Okay. Speed.
Saling,
Okay. Left foot.
myself. No, I'm joking. I'd say Vincent.
Okay.
Vincent.
Right foot.
Lodge.
It's one hell of a player. Work ethic.
Dion Hoto.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Fitness.
I already gave the Hoto the fitness.
But you told me about Saling, something about Saling that I never knew, that he was one of the fittest players at the time.
No, but you see, even the way he played. Salim scored most of his goals in the last 20 minutes of matches. Do you know that? He scored most of his goals in the last 5 minutes of matches. He was so fit.
But you
Salim.
told me like all this fitness tests and stuff. I didn't know that he was like he'd win everything.
No, he was number one. He never used to kid around, and he never used to smile. Like, no, he's Salim, take it easy. No. Number one, the copper test, all the fitness tests. He was super serious with those things.
Wow.
He took his fitness serious that
Okay.
boy. And it showed, because like I'm saying, he scored most of his goals in the last few minutes of matches.
Headers.
Justice Chabalala.
Okay. Yeah,
Who
good
is-
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
First touch.
Maela.
Okay.
Luvuyo.
Yeah. Football brain.
Team.
Miguel.
Team.
Really?
Top. He sees the game before anything happens. Top. I enjoy playing with him, team.
Yeah.
One of my favorite players that I actually enjoy. He used to, even when he played, he used to coach. You know, it was super nice playing with him.
Okay, awesome. And then last one, best celebration. That was the best celebration.
I think Lodge used to have a lot of good celebrations. Team, because at Lodge, that's a tricky question because now I have to go back and think. But I think Lodge used to have top celebrations.
Okay. It's one hell of a player.
He always goes against Kaizer Chiefs, and we always celebrate it. Probably that is why I remember.
Okay. So is there anything you want to ask our man before we go?
No, I think it was great to have you. You know, like thanks very much for having lunch with us. And yeah, like all the best for your next life now, because now
Thank
you're
you.
not playing anymore, but I think you'll be even better in your next future. Like the way people respect you in the business, you know, and everyone, and like you seriously one of the only players that we have bad things
Spotless.
to say about. Spotless, and that's very difficult in a big club. You've always been like top quality, like a top person. And then I hope I'll see you one day on Super Sports and the commentaries there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, for your time, bro. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Anytime.
Thank you very much, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.